I'm wondering how many people here can identify this green book. It's a couple inches thick, and it's a green book. It's very popular in the Catholic Church. I'll give you a hint. CCC. Catechism of the Catholic Church. This has been out now, was promulgated by St. John Paul II. It's been out now for 25 years. And I'm going to tell you something. If you knew the contents of this catechism from cover to cover, you would have a great general grasp of the Catholic faith. It's really a great research book as well. I mean, if you want to know like what the church teaches on capital punishment or any topic, you could just go and look, and it really is a tremendous book. It's the foundation for all other catechisms that should be written. And in fact, the bishops came out with this one. It's the United States Catholic Catechism for Adults. It reads a lot easier. This is a lot easier to read, but this is a great research one, and I would recommend either of them for your prayerful study and growth in the faith. Obviously, we want to know our faith, right? And not only do we want to know our faith, we want our children, we want our grandchildren to know their faith. And whether through our outstanding prep program or a wonderful Catholic education, or whether through parents, parents, by the way, you are the primary catechists of your children. Grandparents, you help them with that. No matter whatever program we have, we want our children to know the faith. When our young men and women graduate, we want them to know the faith. We want them to have the ability to share that faith, to generously, in the right moment, to share the treasure of their faith, and yes, at times to really defend their faith out in this world. All of us have our challenges, don't we? We definitely have our challenges. We live in a very pluralistic society. There are atheists, those who don't believe in God. There are agnostics, those who say maybe there is a God and maybe there isn't a God. There's the skeptics who, if you parted the Red Sea in front of them, they wouldn't believe that it was God. There's New Agers, there's other world religions within Christianity, there's various denominations. We live in a very pluralistic society, for sure. We may not be able to spout off the entire catechism. Let's face it, even after our kids graduate, they probably won't know the catechism from cover to cover. But you know what? There are two basic questions that I think you and our children, graduates, two basic questions that I think they should be able to, and we should be able to, intelligently and deeply answer and give a great presentation to the world. The first question is, somebody comes up to you and says, why are you a Christian? So that's the first one. Why am I a Christian? Can we intelligently and deeply answer that? And the second one is, why am I a Catholic? Okay, if you cut everything away, those are two questions we should be able to really grasp and know for ourselves and explain to other peoples. And I'm going to address these questions on both a head level and a heart level. So it's going to be like, why am I a Christian? A and B, head and heart. Why am I a Catholic? A and B, head and heart. And this is going to take 4 different homilies that I'm going to present here at Blessed Sacrament. I'm going to go through the whole thing. But let's start with just 1A. That's all I'm going to hit for the rest of this homily. And we're going to start with the first question on the head level. Someone comes up to you and asks you the question, why are you a Christian? I'm an atheist. My parents didn't believe anything. Or, I'm a Hindu. And why are you a Christian? If somebody asks you that, what would you say? I was raised that way? That's okay for a start, but you better be able to say more than that, right? We need to give people intelligent answers. Our faith isn't just a jump in the total dark. It's a stroll in the twilight. There are reasons. We have reasons for claiming to be Christians, and we should be able to share those reasons with other people. They're going to need a lot more than I was just raised that way. So let's get down to the question. Okay? I've actually had this happen to me. A guy came up to me, "Why are you a Christian?" And I said, "Okay, let's hit it. Let's box. Let's share. Whatever you want to say. It could be a fighting, apologetical situation, or it could be a loving sharing. But, either way, we need to share our faith." So I said, "Why are you a Christian?" And I'm going to give you the answer to that. And there's no gray matter here. It's a black and white reality. There's no gray matter. And this is the first line. Ready? I'm a Christian because I believe the person of Jesus Christ, who was on planet Earth, he came to Earth. I believe that Jesus Christ is what? 3 letters. God. Black and white. Either Jesus was God or not God. Period. There's no in between. He wasn't just a great man. He wasn't just a great teacher. He wasn't just a loving, influential person on planet Earth. Jesus Christ is God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, consubstantial with the Father. He is truly God. And that's where we're going to start. C.S. Lewis has a wonderful trifecta that he says, Jesus was either a liar, a lunatic, or Lord. Either he lied, I'm God, and he wasn't, or a lunatic, he was self-deceived and had illusions of grandeur, or else he is who he said he was. Jesus is God. And of course, we're here today because we believe that Jesus was not a liar or a lunatic. We believe he's God. We believe he's Lord. So the guy said, "So you believe Jesus is God?" "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What did he ever do to show that he was God?" I said, "Well, if you look in the readings of the gospel, their accounts of his life." He said, "Well, how do we know those are true?" "Well, they can also be confirmed. He lived, Josephus, Pliny, Tacitus, there's 3 historians of the day that write about him as well, extra biblical sources. But if you look at the gospels, why do you believe Jesus Christ is God? Because, he did tons of miracles, many which weren't even written down according to John. But the number one thing that Jesus did to show us definitively that he is God is what? Some people say he died on a cross. Well, anybody can die. What did he do after that? He rose from the dead. He rose from the dead. And his apostles, and he said, "How do you know he rose from the dead?" I said, "Well, his closest friends, his apostles, and then many other people, actually 500 people at once saw him. They had such a powerful experience of the risen Christ that they were willing to shed their blood and to die for him. And men and women don't die for something unless they utterly believe in it. So I'm a Christian because I believe Jesus is God. I believe he's God because he rose from the dead. I believe he rose from the dead because the apostles and his closest friends died torturous deaths." And the guy looked at me and said, yeah, okay, I can kind of follow that. So he's maybe kind of credible. I go, yeah. So that's a good starting point. That's the intellectual, that's kind of the head reason why we believe, why we are Christians. So, my friends, our surrender to Jesus Christ in faith is not some empty religious ritual based on vague speculation. And quite frankly, in the readings in the Transfiguration today, even before he died and rose, he took Peter, James, and John on the mountain and he manifested himself in great glory. Moses was there, Elijah was there. At the time, Moses would have been about 1,500 years old, chronologically speaking, our earth time. Elijah would have been about 900 years old. So Peter, James, and John are having this profound experience of the divinity of Christ even before he died. That's even enough. That's even enough, even if he didn't appear after his death. So we have multiple attestation. And Peter writes, he says, it was not by way of cleverly concocted myths. These aren't empty stories that we come up with. We saw him. We were on the mountain. The cloud came up. We heard the voice say, "This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. Listen to him." So as we surrender to Jesus, we surrender to a Jesus that is real. He was crucified. He's risen. We have a profound giving of ourselves over then to the one who spoke with Moses and Elijah, the one who, after he was crucified, found his way out of the grave and proclaimed to his petrified apostles, "Peace be with you. Be not afraid. I am alive." Next time I preach here, we're going to talk about why we are Christian from the level of the heart.